Welcome back to another episode of the Need for Speed Most Wanted Showcase, and of course, yeah, okay. In today's episode, we were given during the break from the last episode to this, we got 3 new entries to be going into the wheel, and we're going to see if any of those show up in today's episode. I originally tried to record this already, but I kind of screwed it up a little bit, so I got to go again, but let's not worry about that. Let's wheel decide, and let's get the first choice here. You may notice I have some different colors here, as well as it will automatically delete the entry from the wheel once it's been chosen. So first up, we got a Toyota Yaris S, requested by Templar Not 4 for that one. That's going to be the first car we use for the episode. The second car that we're going to be using is another Toyota, but in a vast different one, the GT1, requested by GameWiz71. And finally, the last car that will be going around the track to join those Toyotas will be the Cadillac Cien, requested by, and its name is great, I love it, Potato Ass. It's a great name, Potato Ass. Anyways, so that's going to be this episode. 2 Toyotas and a Cadillac. So let's go get our mods and get going with Most Wanted. And now we're back into Most Wanted, and of course our first suggestion here, which was given by Templar Not 4, is the Toyota Yaris S, which is exactly what you expected, and probably for you people who know, for the kind of people I'm with, we knew eventually this would have to happen. So you can tell exactly where this is going. Can't really do anything with it, but I am actually going to replace the wheels in this because it adds to the effect. It just, we kind of have to, don't we? It just has to be a thing that has to be done. So let's see where I want to. Which ones do I want to go with? I'm gonna go with. Let's go with these. Yes, Lowenhart LDRs. Oh God, what am I doing?
What are you doing? By the way, guest commentator.
Yes, but of course we can't have a Yaris be complete without, of course, a metallic pink. This metallic pink, more specifically, because it's really bright and Jesus. Maybe not that last bit. And just to add to the effect, we're gonna have dark magenta window tint. So
yes.
And let's go one step even more ridiculous. Let's paint these wheels pink.
Now you're just being silly.
Yes. People are gonna want me to do it, so we gotta do it. In fact, I'm even gonna go into something I haven't done in a while, and that's go into the custom gauge and just make it all pink.
It's all pink.
So it's a pink overload.
It's fucking pink.
It's a pink overload.
It's God.
It's pink overload for a car that we all expected was gonna have it because you know me and the community that I'm with. So anyways, let's just go around and take it to an old timer. I guess by now it has to be Petersburg. Give it the 4 laps, no traffic, no opponents. Don't worry about any of that stuff, and let's just head on our way.
Controller up ass.
I don't know if I want to do that, but okay. So this, of course, replaces the Fiat Punto, which explains the Fiat Punto engine note. It actually looks a little raised as soon as we actually get into the to the race. Maybe it's just me and my mind going a bit crazy, but it does look very slightly raised. Now I'm honestly expecting this to have the same stats as the Punto because I don't really see the need to change any of it. So if you remember the Punto, that's actually a pretty good car, so it should actually go pretty well. Also, I just realized the motion blur is back on. I don't remember turning the motion blur back on. Ah well, no big deal.
See, the game turned it on for you.
I think so. But yeah, so far I can definitely say that this is quick. It's a Yaris doing over 200 miles an hour. That's got good handling. Doesn't really have much of a problem with the corners. It's nice. Can't really complain too much about it. So I expect that we're gonna get a time with this pretty comparable with the actual Punto, like the car plays. I expect the performance is pretty much identical anyway. So we're gonna have to see if that's the case or not. So
Watch it be 1/100th faster.
Just that very slightly faster because it's pink. But
Yeah, the pink would do it.
I've driven this track. Oh shit! I like how I say I've driven this track, then I hit a wall.
I too do that.
I try to talk myself up, then I do it, and I make a stupid incident in there for invalidating what I just said.
I've driven this track so many times I smack a wall.
Yes, that's exactly what I do, apparently. But so long as I cannot do that, I imagine the lap time will probably be very similar to that Punto, because it feels like it does exactly about the same less. So yeah, despite that wall hit, that's a 57.21, so we just got to shave a little bit more time off of it, and then we should be fine.
That's not a bad lap.
The car.
Some of my mouth tastes weird. I don't know if it's because of the root beer I've been having or not.
Ooh, root beer.
It's my favorite soft drink.
Hey, I had
Root
root beer yesterday.
root beer followed by crushed cream soda.
Mmm.
I say crushed cream soda because in Canada, Crush actually sells a cream soda flavor,
Nice.
and it's delicious. In fact, it's an interesting cream soda because it's actually pink.
Is it red? Oh.
It's pink.
It's a reddish pink.
That is beautiful.
It seriously is. It's got such a candy taste to it, but it's really good. Which
You
means
know
it's
what?
really
I
bad
want
for
that
you.
now.
Well, come to Canada. Unless you live in Quebec, in which if you're in Quebec, it's actually still got the regular look of a cream soda, from what I've heard. Which is strange. I don't know why it's different over there.
They have to be different.
Yeah, I mean, do they have cream soda Fanta over there, in America?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably not.
Fuck, I don't remember.
I remember a few days ago, a buddy of mine gave me a couple cans of Mountain Dew Pitch Black.
Ew.
The
I
only
haven't seen that in years.
There's only two flavored variants of Mountain Dew that I've ever had: Voltage, which is the blue one, and of course Code Red. They did this like competition thing where, for a couple of years, where they'd have like Mountain Dew and they'd be bringing like 4 U.S. flavors over to Canada, and the most liked one would be able to stay, and the others would just be, you know, a limited time thing. 55.45 seconds, by the way, which is pretty good time. But yeah, so they'd have a flavor, the Voltage Code Red. There was like a white one, and then there was a purple one. I can't remember what those ones were called. Voltage won the first time around. Then they brought it the next year after with the 3 other flavors, and Code Red won that year. Although many believe Code Red should have won the first year out. So anyways, 55.45 seconds for the Yaris is a pretty good time. Now next up is one of the reasons I actually have guest commentator, because Game Win 71, he's Toyota GT1, which you can't really do much visually either, but we are going to give it a bit of a matte black finish, because if you may be thinking to yourself, that reminds me of the Stealth GT1 from Gran Turismo 4.
Hey, my favorite.
Implying our viewers are old enough.
Let's give it a medium black window tint. We're not going to go the full dark. So we'll give it that. Again, not much I can really do with the visuals. In fact, almost all cars here don't really have any visuals at all. So we'll just go with that. And with that, let's head back to Petersburg. Now, I expect the GT1 to have a very quick time, because this car was already kind of maxed out with its stats when putting the ultimate parts on, before I even put the junkman parts on it later. So I expect something very quick. So it replaces the Ford GT, but seems to have a somewhat modified variant of the engine notes that the Mercedes-Benz cars uses, which is interesting. Oh, and already I'm going to notice it's going to be quick. It's got quite the bit of grip around the corners. It's not... It's not ridiculously fast. It's not, like, ludicrous or anything, but it still gets up to speed very quick. So I don't even have to get to the main straightaway before I hit 200 miles an hour. So this thing will definitely
go fast.
Yes. In fact, just by the end of that little straightaway, before I get that little jump, I was doing 231 miles an hour.
Wow, that's a little bit silly.
Yes, I mean, but then again, it is a GT1 with full upgraded parts, so Were you expecting anything different, to be honest?
Not really.
In fact, within the first lap, we've already beaten the Yaris with a 54.86 second lap time.
This car's fast.
Car is fast.
Big fast.
Now let's
What
hope
else did I expect?
with that, I mean, this thing, I am already seeing it now, and since this is a full flying lap, we're gonna have dun a top 10 time with this car.
Ooh.
Of course, so Emil is probably gonna be watching this video thinking, nothing's gonna beat my 1000 TC of Barth. I think
Lawnmower. One day.
Imagine if the
Lawn.
I'm gonna laugh if the lawnmower actually gets the fastest time.
And it
I
probably
wouldn't be
will.
surprised.
Oh shit! I screwed up that section. So, oops.
Oh no.
But yeah, 1000 TC of Barth. I don't think anything's gonna beat that for a while. If considering that car was doing 300 miles an hour.
Miles an hour.
Lawnmower does 589.
Shh.
Is
Huge
this-
spoiler.
I don't even know what he said, to be honest.
He said the car is gonna go. The lawnmower is gonna hit 600.
If it does, I'd be like, right, that's it. Nothing's gonna beat this. I should quit now. Yeah. Okay, a little bit screwed up around there, but I don't think we'll have the same problem as we did earlier, so I think we should be okay heading
Hooray.
into this. Yeah, this car's actually quite a lot of fun to drive because it's obviously really damn quick, but it's also really damn easy to drive. It doesn't want to slide out, and it's got a good amount of grip. It's not overly, it's not like way too much, and it's not too little either. 51.89 second lap time. If I cut out, then that probably means I'm dead.
Nope, you didn't die.
Okay, good. Because I was thinking my internet was just going to do the usual thing it does. Oh,
No, don't worry. My internet did that for you.
Jan, there's one thing that's admittedly bugging me a little bit is I tend to hit a little. I'm trying so hard to not have a lap where I hit a wall, but I still did it on the last chance. On the last lap, but it wasn't anything too serious, so I don't think you should worry, gamers. I mean, you got a 51.89 anyways, so that's top 10 time.
That is big fast time.
Yes. So it's like, hey, be happy, you got a car in the top 10.
Hooray!
And with that,
Okay, yeah, it's definitely me.
and with that, there we go. There's that one down to the 51.88 as the final lap. So we
Ooh.
literally improved it by 1/10, which is interesting. Never had that happen before. There we go, 51.88. That is with indeed a top 10 lap time. I just got to see where in the top 10 it falls under. Probably pretty high up, I imagine, but we'll find out. And finally, we have, of course, the Cadillac Cien by the greatest YouTube name I've ever seen, Potato Ass. Now this one I can actually, there is two additional parts in the visual you can do, spoilers, and of course the dreaded roof scoops.
Ugh.
I'm actually going to put the Viper spoiler on it because it looks a little silly, but it's actually not, I don't mind it that much. One other thing I might do, I might actually change the wheels on this because these look like 21-inch default rims, and it's like, that's too big.
This is a Midnight Club 3.
Yes, in fact, oops, I didn't even mean to choose those ones. I just accidentally pressed the wrong button. Let's go with these, I'm going to go with these OZ Super Turismos. These actually look nice. I'm going to just do the 19-inch. So we're going to go with that. And then, of course, the one thing we need to do, obviously, as much as I do like the blue on a Cien, I think it works better if we give it the more familiar silver grayish color that the Cien was better known for. And at least one interesting thing is you can, in fact, put some vinyls on it. The only car in today's episode that can do so.
Hey.
So I really like the body stripe one, so we're going to go with that. And I'm going to give it... Ooh, I really like that dark red. I'm gonna go with that. So we're gonna have that be the style. Let's actually give these like a. Actually, I like those. I'm gonna put the red wheels on it too, just to kind of make it a little bit different. And oh wow, let's go with these. These are dark. Just have a dark black window tint, and there we go. Cien, looking a little beefed up. And of course, as always, it's got the whole parts. By the way, if I forgot to mention, the Toyota GT1 replaces the Ford GT, and the Cadillac Cien replaces the Cadillac CTS. Hence why it was blue at the start, which I guess you kind of understood. So it's like, in the case of the CTS, it literally gets a huge upgrade. But the Cien still sounds like a CTS, which is kind of unfortunate, but whatever.
Dun 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 dun.
Yes. Well, speed-wise, it's... Ooh. Okay. This isn't looking... Potato ass, I'm sorry, but this isn't looking too pretty. It looks like speed-wise, it feels about the same as a CTS. And handling-wise, it's a bit heavy on the handling.
So it is a potato.
It's a disappointment.
Yes, I was kind of hoping for a little more, but then again, I guess since this is like a 2007 mod, I guess you can't really expect too much because people didn't really know much about how to really, you know, extenuate it or make it different and whatnot. But you know,
Fucking nudes.
Yeah, that is true.
At least the car is not slow. It's definitely not slow. It's just the problem is it feels really heavy on the handling and thus doesn't feel like it really grips much. So I gotta, for some of these corners, I really gotta slow down for them.
Dare I say, does it feel like a boat?
Yes, it admittedly feels like a boat.
Get your rudders ready, boys.
Moo.
Moo cow.
Oink.
But that's not correct. And then I'm somehow managed to hit that little wall section there. How did I do it? I don't know. Don't question it.
The wall section.
But yeah, so... like, the thing with it is that I suppose I can understand if maybe the modder's intention was more like just to replace the body of it, so you have a much cooler Cadillac, rather than a standard CTS, but, you know, I guess with the Cien, I kind of wished it drove more like a Cien.
That would be admittedly very nice.
I mean, none of us really know what the Cien could have been capable of because it was nothing more but a concept car, but if other games are to go by any indication, it would have been a pretty good car.
Freaking fast.
The thing that's I mean, of course, the thing that still annoys me more than anything is always going to be that Viper, which I don't know. I mean, I understand why some people be like, yeah, realistic performance, it drives like the real thing. Here's the only problem. This is Need for Speed we're talking here.
It's not the only disappointing mod.
Get that realism out of here.
Because to me, it's like, if you want realism, you should try going for a game where it's kind of more realistic. Putting a Viper, like I mean, it's already glaring enough when you have the Viper, you have the older Viper, and it will run circles around that newer one, all because the modder decided to make the performance more realistic, which is like, don't do that because it's a Need for Speed game. It just doesn't make to me it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Allow realism must be no.
Yes.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's just my 2 cents with it, honestly, but hey, 1 minute .20. I mean, if I really nail this lap, I can get a sub 1 minute time for the Cien.
1 minute .20. Let's go
a little bit.
Check out the thing. That's a
little
great
bit
time.
Gotta be a little bit careful there. Oh, this car really does not like that turn very much. Well, I'm still gonna try to push it here because I really want to get this thing under 1 minute because it feels like it can do it. It honestly does. I just really gotta give it as much as I can, or else, you know, disappointment. All right, well. Oh, that corner was not the prettiest, but I managed to keep it off of hitting those end of freeway like barricades or whatever they're called. Still, I still don't know. And it's braked good for that corner. Did we at least crack under 1 minute? Did we manage to do it? Yes, we did. A 59.68. So
hey!
So it did at least crack the barrier. So that prevents the Cien from being like the third episode in a row where a car only does like a 1 minute time or something. So at least that's nice. But anyways, on to the leaderboard.
Ooh.
And of course, now that it comes to the leaderboard for us, and the fastest of the bunch today, getting 7th place, is the Toyota GT1 with a 51.88 second lap time. It's actually the first car in our leaderboard to get a lap time in the 51 second range. So how about that?
Ooh.
Get wrecked.
Yay.
The second fastest, tying for 20th place with the Corvette C6, is the Toyota Yaris S with a 55.45 seconds time. And it's actually pretty interesting because it's the only other car that was faster than it, or at least in the let me try that again. It's interesting because the next fastest mod also replaced the Punto, which was the 911 GT2. And finally, quite a bit further down in 51st place is the Cadillac Cien, requested by Potato Ass. Still love that name.
Only
That name
51st.
is beautiful.
It's the first car to replace a Cadillac CTS, and unfortunately, it's not a doozy. Couldn't even beat the regular CTS. It's probably because it's a little bit heavier on the handling. So, anyways, let's see if we can manage to get a few more cars to get a little bit higher up on the list like the GT1 did in the next episode. So stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you guys for watching and take care. And you're going to see a bit of a void, but oh well.
Oh,
Whoops.
well, indeed.
What's wrong with a void?